Hi sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Nanyacim. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash the subscribe button, turn on the notification so you get notified each time I upload, and please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you, and I want to say a very big thank you to every one of you for always coming back to watch my videos. You all are the very best. So today, Black Americans, the United States is actually planning to silence your culture, your heritage, your integrity, the plan is to silence Black Americans in everywhere. Do you know what happened? Now, Ron DeSantis, the Florida's Republican governor, has rejected a new advanced placement course in African American studies from being taught in high school campuses. Why? He argues that the course violates the state law and lacks educational values, right? Now, they are looking for every way to cover up all the things they have done to Black Americans. They do not even want the upcoming generations to know their cultures, their values, their integrity, about their race, about everything concerning Black Americans. They are looking for a way to silence it. And you know what? People are reacting to it. This is actually Ray and Sis. Yes, you heard me right. Let's get into this video. Stay glued to the screen. Let's see what people got to say about it.
White women. Are we going to call the manager or nah? The walking tampon, Ron DeSantis, look at that motherfucker. Government bans new advanced African American history course. Watch this video and I'll be right back.
It's racism.
That's
right.
And I think we have to call it exactly what it is. This is cultural erasure. We've seen it happen before. When Black people were brought from Africa over here, forced to be here, they erased our culture from us. They took our religion away. They took our names away. They took our heritage, everything that related us to Africa. They took it away and replaced it with Western culture. That's what you're doing right now in education. When you look at the AP classes that are taught right now in the state of Florida, you have Chinese language and culture, French, German, Italian, Japanese, Latin, and Spanish. But you can't have African American studies. I have a huge problem with this. And this is a course that was created and cultivated with certain expertise and experience. Henry Louis Gates Jr. was a part of this. This isn't just some thing that they threw together at the last minute. It is put together to teach you about us and who we are through arts and literature, as you were saying, science, civil rights, political science, geography. There's so much more to it. And if every other culture can be taught except for Black culture, that's racist.
That's right.
Yeah, and
I'm just saying. What y'all gonna do? I typically don't give out assignments, but time to get to work. If y'all understand the assignment, let me see a fire in my comment section. Let me see 3 fireballs in my comment sections. If you have ideas, tell me in the comment section how we can stop this shit from happening. Let's go. Don't sit here and tell me you anti-racist and you not helping us with this shit. Let's go. Don't let them do this shit to us again. Black people are already fighting. Will you? Better call the fucking manager. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's go. Remember, diversity equal power. We can change the world when we work together and protect Black women. Like, comment, share, repost. Let's get the word out. We gotta stop this from happening again.
It is so sad how they really want to silence Black culture, how they want to erase somebody's culture, how they want to silence a particular race. How come other languages are being taught? Why not our own culture? Why is our own culture not being taught? And why is this I just don't get it. This is wickedness and hate for a particular race. If not, why would somebody wake up and do something like this? They are looking for a way to cover up all the traces of the bad things they have done, and because they do not want it to know, that is the plan. They do not want it to know. I don't know why I am so mad, because like, why do you want to erase a particular culture? This is not right. Anyways, let's get into this video. Let's get into the stitches and see what people are saying.
I don't know why you guys are being surprised about this, because he said about this when he was running for his campaign to become reelected as governor for Florida. He also said that this was a race theory, African American history. And he was saying that this is like a detriment and also harmful to this American society. And he said that on a talk show when he was sitting down, and he also with a debate. So this should not be new to you. But I want to give you a perfect analogy how they've been trying to eliminate the African American history and ban it since from 1993. And I should know because I used to live in Florida for 3.5 years. I had transitioned and went from New York to Florida, and I was in Broward County, and I went to a high school in Broward County. It was called Piper High School. And African American history, whether it was regular or advanced, was considered elective because the committee only put it in as a half a credit, and they mostly gave it to students who needed the credit to graduate. Yeah. I so happened to take the credit this class because, you know, I thought it was going to be fun, considering the fact I'm an African American, and I was going to learn from the colleagues of my peers about African American history. But let me tell you something. What the catch was, it was a Caucasian professor teaching me African American history, and it didn't have textbooks. They just basically popped in a tape, and we was watching Roots, or we was watching movies that was supposed to be a non-fictional, but it had fictional storyline to it. And then the main things that we needed to know. But luckily, considering I was a fellow New Yorker, I already had the idea of who was this and who was that, like who was Malcolm X, who was this, who was Marcus Garvey, and this and so forth. But like I wanted to say to you guys that no matter how they try to eliminate African American history, we are the heart of American history and American culture, no matter what. And it's not just only slavery, because a lot of things that African American people invented was never known into the American history anyway. And, you know, to be honest, you know, from my personal experience, and this is going back in 1993, and we're in 2023, you know, Florida is always known to be a racist state. And majority of the population of Florida is mostly people that's come from the Hispanic culture. And if they're going to turn around and eliminate our history, what do you think they're going to do to the indigenous and also to the Spanish culture? But you see, most of the Hispanics down there are mostly Republicans. So they swear by this man right here. And then he's also trying to use that as leverage because he wants to run to be the next president for the Republican Party for 2024. So he just wants to make sure that everything he's promised is going to be official.
So Florida's government just rejected an AP African American Studies course in its high schools. And you know what? This reminds me of something that white slave owners did back in the 1800s. So I'll make the explicit connection at the end of the story, but just know that 3 years after the Haitian Revolution, British missionaries would take out portions of the Bible before teaching them to enslave people. Copies of these slave Bibles, as they're called, don't have the story of Moses leading the Israelites to freedom, and they take out the quote where he tells Pharaoh, "Let my people go." But they do have passages from the New Testament, like in Ephesians, where it says, "Servants, be obedient to them that are your masters." This was done to confine the school of thought and the consciousness of enslaved Africans to make them easier to subjugate. Recently, conservatives have conspired to take out ideas, perspectives, and even factual history from the education system unless they neatly align with narratives of white supremacist indoctrination that have grounded U.S. curriculums for centuries. Ideas like manifest destiny and the glorification of genocidal enslavers like Christopher Columbus, who Governor Ron DeSantis said exemplified heroism. At the same time, they conspired to omit learning about tragedies like the Rosewood Massacre, an attack on a black neighborhood in a similar kind to the Tulsa Race Massacre that happened in Florida and was covered up for nearly 60 years. And I use the word conspire very purposefully. Even the guy behind the anti-critical race theory movement, Christopher Rufo, had this to say. The goal is to have the public read something crazy in the newspaper and immediately think critical race theory. We have decodified the term and will recodify it to annex the entire range of cultural constructions that are unpopular with Americans. In the words of Kimberly Crenshaw, a leading scholar behind the actual framework of critical race theory, reform itself creates its own backlash. This is a post-George Floyd backlash. In times of black advancement, the worst people come up with the most insidious schemes to try to confine what we know and control what we think. Carter G. Woodson, the inventor of Black History Month, best put it when he said, "If you can control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his action." Tag your favorite Black History creators or Black History resources in the comments below to make sure that you and your community do not fall under this control. And follow for more.
Now was as good a time as any to remind the world when the NFL had to start paying out concussion-related damages to former players. They literally argued that black players should get less money because they had less mental capacity to lose. So you might be wondering like, yo, when was that policy a thing? The NFL had this policy in place up until 2021. After they were sued in a civil lawsuit. I need y'all to understand what this means, y'all. The NFL decided to give former players who were black less money in concussion settlements because they believed that black players or black people in general started with lower cognitive function, meaning that their presupposition was that black folks were inherently and genetically less intelligent than white folks. Meaning that they felt that black folks were so stupid coming into the game that a concussion didn't impact them as much as a white person who to them was inherently more intelligent. So with black folks, they was basically like, oh, you failed that test after having a concussion? You was gonna fail it anyway because you're dumb. But with white folks, they were like, ooh, you failed that test after a concussion? You shouldn't have because you would have got an A. And when they started giving out money for these concussion settlements, white folks were qualifying for awards at 2 or 3 times the rate of black folks. Keep that in mind when you consider that the NFL wanted those players to go back on the field, but they refused. Players, people in general, you are more powerful than you know. This system don't move without you.
I mean, this is so sad to watch, and I really just do not know where we are headed from here, really. I am not going to lie to you. I mean, they are looking at their plan is just to, like, you know, silence black race, silence black Americans, silence, like, you know, just, you don't have to know what happened. This is what it is. You don't have to know what happened to you. You don't have to know your culture. I'm just gonna eradicate your culture because, like, you know, they do not want you to know what they did to you, because this is what it is. If not, why do you want to like, you know, ban a culture? Are you guys, are they okay? I mean, what is working there? Because sometimes I feel like they are not humans. I'm sorry to say that, but it is what it is. I mean, this is really, like, you know, I think they are, like, probably mentally not stable, because I don't know how you want to eradicate somebody's culture, somebody's history. Anyways, let me know what you all think in the comment section, and see you all in my next video. Bye for now.